So is my screen visible to all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we were supposed to today create the balusters once again, the main pattern baluster, but the last time we created was the classic baluster family, and we're going to create today the glass baluster family basically. Okay, we have some, but they are custom made, and this is the system that has generated. Okay, maybe if we wanted to create our own type of glass balusters, we can create it. Okay, so to create the baluster, the glass panel baluster, we'll come into the file menu, take new command, and take family from here. So file, new, sorry, file command, new command, and picking family file. I'll get that select family dialog box. This may we will go into the English folder, and we're gonna create a baluster. So we're gonna pick the metric baluster panel. Last time we picked as metric baluster only, because we're just creating the shape. This time we're creating a panel, so we're going to take the metric baluster panel as a family type. Okay. And now I'm going to just click on open, and that's the family template that I get basically. So this is the elevation view of that panel. Okay, so where we can see the width that would be of 600, the baluster height which will go to 750 up till now, which can be changed later on in the project. Also we can change the width of the baluster or the baluster height as well. All I need to create is the glass panel right over here. Okay, so I'll be like creating that uh, panel basically then. Okay, so first I'll be creating that supports, the side supports, and then in the middle I'll be creating that glass with the deep brackets on it. Okay, so very quickly I'm going to create a shape of the supports. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into my top plan view, basically the reference plan view or the reference level, right? And when I come into reference level, all I see is this plane line, this center line, and this plane line. So that's that plane line, that's line, and that's center line. So I'm going to create that support over here and one support circle over here. So I'm going to come into the create tab and take the form types extrusion. I can take it solid extrusion. Okay, so I'm going to go into extrusions, and right over here I'm going to create a shape basically then. Okay, so I'm going to take a circle shape लेके and इसके center point से we'll create a random scale size. Let's take it of 15 mm. Okay, so I took it of 15 mm of the circle. Right over here. Okay, you can also give parameter as well if you wish to. So I'll take the diameter dimension, and I'm gonna draw that diameter. Okay, so it shows me that the diameter of that circle is 15 because the radius that we took was of 15 actually. So now we can select that diameter. We can create a parameter for it. Okay, so select the diameter's dimension, click on create parameter, And when I do that, I'll name this parameter. Okay, I'll call this parameter as support dia. Okay, keep the type, and then we'll click on OK. So anytime if I want to change the diameter of the supporter, I can still change it. Okay, then I'm going to click on the finish edit mode to complete this. Okay, so we'll have that support dia. If I come back in the left elevation view, we can see that support dia over there, which I can drag it all the way till the top, and I can lock this line. Okay. Then baluster panel family. So we have this support. Okay, so that's one side support has been done. We need similarly on the other side as well. So once again, I'm going to go back in the reference level and going to create another circle extrusion on for this side. So I'm going to come in the solid extrusion shape command, pick the circular shape, create a circle of a radius of 15 mm, baluster panel. Yeah. And then we're gonna give the diameter symbol, diameter dimensions. I'll select this dimension. This time I'm not going to create a parameter, which I already have a label. So I'm going to select that label, support diam, and I'm going to hit the finish editing mode for this one as well. Come back to the left elevation view, drag this all the way till the top, and don't forget to lock this element with that reference plane. So we have the two supports. Okay. Okay. They are in circular profile. If you want square, you can take it as square also. I've taken as circular ones. Okay. Now all I need is to create that D brackets so that my glass would be holded on that particularly D brackets. Okay. So quickly be in the left elevation view only, and I'll create that D brackets right over here. Okay. You can give reference planes also if you wanted to put it right in the dimensions wise. So we can create some reference plane, add some reference plane over here, add one more reference plane right in the middle at the bottom over here. Right, and then we can give the dimensions from the top plane to this plane basically, and from the bottom plane. So if you observe over here, I'm selecting the reference level, so I don't want that level to be get selected. So I'm going to hit tab. Now I'm selecting the reference plane and this plane that would be there. Okay, we can label this two dimensions as the bracket offset. It will automatically come. So you can see now bracket offsets from the top also it's 114 and from the bottom also it's at 114, which you can come anytime and change it. Right, now we can create that the brackets. Okay, extrusions shapes we can take it. So again I'm going to come into create, take the form type as extrusions. Okay, well, now it will ask me on which plane you want to draw these brackets basically. So currently this is the left plane, so I'm going to pick the left reference plane, and then I'm going to click on OK with that, which will allow me to create that shape in this plane only, on this view only actually. And then we can create that shape over here. So I'm going to quickly add a shape over here. Right. If you wanted to even create parameter for these, you can even create parameters for these, but I'm okay with it. I might not give parameters for the bracket sizes or anything like that. So I'm going to make it a little smaller one. So one shape, then we can come into the finish edit mode to apply that shape. So we got one of the shape ready to it on the other side as well. Because that's the crossing line. Like if it goes on the staircase, it might get cut off. So like put it more in the middle, somewhere over here, okay, so that it can be hold it in. Okay, later on also we can change it because we have given parameters. So I'm going to leave it right now as it is only. Create on the other side. You can even copy this. Copy this plane right over here. Okay. Only thing is that you need to take the edit extrusion back, and you might have to lock it because it might be not being locked. And then we can also mirror this on the other end side as well. So we can select both the brackets. We can mirror it on the other side. Okay. One more thing you need to do it. You might have to, lock it that plane. Right. So we got that supports brackets almost ready. Okay. Now I'll just come back into my plan view once again. Okay. And you can see these brackets is like almost sticking out a lot basically. Okay, so which I wanted right in the middle over here basically. Okay, so I'll create a couple of reference plane as well over here. Can give dimensions, this line, the center line, and this line. Okay. Equal it. Here, equal sign. Okay. Dimension to first end to the last end. Give this as a parameter. Call this as bracket thickness. Then you can like drag this all the way, lock it. And on this side, drag this one. Don't forget to lock and lock. we got that fixed. Now if you look into your 3D view, you might see that two elements with that bracket on it. Yeah, it's on. And we can now insert the glass in it. So once again, we can come in the left elevation view. Now I can put that glass all around this place, right? So I'm going to take create extrusions. Once again, it will ask me on which work plane you want to create it. So currently, which view is this? Is the left view. So once again, we're going to pick the left reference plane view. And then we can click on OK, and now I can create that shape. Now before I will take the rectangle shape, I'll obviously give some offset because I don't want it to be exactly touching to this planes or anything like that. So I'm going to get like at least of 25 of offsets. Essentially, I'm going to take rectangle, take the offset of 25 and ये point से जब मैं लेता हूँ intersecting point से that 25 offset is coming outer direction, so we'll hit spacebar to flip it on the internal direction. And then we're gonna put it up till this end point over here. We see like we get nice spacers between each and every element, okay, which you can even dimension it out. Okay, so you can take the dimension tool from the outer plane to the sketch line, plane to sketch line, plane to sketch line. Okay, now select all of it. Okay, you can also create a label for that as well. Okay, and then I'm going to hit on the finish mode to complete that class. So you can see that the class shape has been created. Okay. And but a little more problem is that if I look into the plan view, it's like exceeding out a lot. So I also need to make sure that this stays inside this bracket thickness only. So like drag it, or maybe I'll just make a little bit smaller one this time. So the bracket thickness is just of 10 which is way too small. So we can increase that bracket thickness. So to increase that bracket thickness, I went into the family types. And in the family types, the bracket thickness, I'm going to take at least of 40 50 thicker. Yeah, the diameter is less, so we can come again, we can increase the diameter. Yeah, so we have the diameters, the diameter is 30 we're going to make it at 50. Okay. The glass offset is 25, which is less. We can also make that a little bit more higher, 40 Okay, or it's too much. Okay, better. Oops. This is still better. Only thing is that this glass is like slightly exceeding out a lot. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump back into the reference floor level. Might create one more referencing planes. dimension this. Glass thickness. And now I guess we can select that extrusion glass. Then we can like put it with that plane, lock it with the plane, and then you lock it. Okay. So now if you look into your 3D view, it looks okay. Even if you want to change the thickness of the glass, which is very much, you can use the thick. Oh, no, I changed the wrong thickness. So the glass thickness is here, which is 28.5 mm, which is way too thicker. 15 mm, or maybe 12 mm. So yeah, that glass that fits inside that brackets. We can select the glass element. Okay, you can see if we have subcategory. We don't have a subcategory, so we'll apply the material. Okay, so you have this material options over here. You can put the material of the glass. Okay, got that. And then we can associate that material also, so that we can change the glass material in the project. Name this as glass material. Click on OK, so you can see that material got an equal sign, which means this material can be now edited in the project also. Similarly, we'll select the supports, the support, these brackets all together. You can give the material to that as well. So I'm going to give the material of the metal or the steel. Okay. Maybe I don't want an anodized steel over here. We have an anodized steel, but we want to polish steel, so we need to create one of over here. So we'll create a new material. Name this material as dash steel dot polish. Put this in the subcategory of metal. Graphics, user render appearances. There will be no surface pattern or cut pattern for it. But in the appearances, we can come in the appearance open close asset browser. Come to the appearance library. Metal, steel, and then we can pick the type of steel that you want. Like this one, it's like stainless steel polished. Okay, or you can take the brushed type as well. Take a little brushed metal will be fine. Apply and click on OK, so that material has been applied it. We can also associate this material as well, so that if Any chance we wanted to change the material for the supports, we can change it in the project as well. So associating means you are allowing the material to be changed in the project as well. So I'm going to call this as support materials. Got that. Material assigned, and the object type is almost ready. So I'm going to save this family. When I save it, it will ask you where you want to save it. I'm going to save it on the desktop. I have a folder over here, so I'm going to save it over there. Call this file as class baluster panel. Okay, with supports. Once the family has been saved, we can click on load it to project, or we can take load into project and closed. Okay, so I'm going to take load into project, and now it's been loaded into the project type. And maybe over here we want to replace that baluster. Okay, so we have this square main pattern baluster over here, which we do not like it. We want to change it. So we can come into the railing, select, come into edit type. Now we have already created duplicates, but once again, if you want to create another duplicate of this, so we can duplicate this as well, and we can rename it class panels. Going to come into baluster placements, and just going to turn on my preview mode so that we can actually see what's going to happen when I change the family. So when I select this family, you can see it's currently that squared family, which we can come over here now and take the glass baluster panel with supports. And if I click on apply, it will show me that's been applied it. But we have the problem that is overlaps. The issue of overlap is the distance from the previous, which is currently stating as 275. Now we know that the baluster that we created was 600 mm in widthwise. So I'm going to get the exact same value here. And if I click on apply, you'll notice that there is balusters are there. Okay, and we can even justify it from the center so that it can be spread it evenly. Okay, but it's like again overlaps with this post balusters basically there. Okay, so if you don't want it to get overlapped, you can play with this spacings to adjust the distances, or otherwise what you can do is you can just play with the baluster offsets. Go to like 50 mm offsets. Nothing really much happens. Let's try with 100 mm. No, it's just like bringing out actually, so don't want that to be out. Let's keep it back at the zeros. So we need to play around with these spaces over here. Negative 50 mm. That slightly more. Negative 150 maybe. A little bit more needs to push out. Negative 200s. Push outs. Same on this side. Positive 250. Okay, now this needs to be then extended. The top rail needs to be then extended as well because we have extended the post. So apply, okay. one more thing I don't want is bottom rails that are coming in the middle actually. So we can come into the non-structural continuous edits and remove these rails and apply, goes away, apply, okay, apply, and okay. So there we go. Now we have one more serious issue is about these over here. It's like sticks out actually. So here the problem is solved, but that's the error. So to fix this issue, what we need to do is the baluster placement. We have taken justified as center. We can take spread the pattern to fit also. Okay, so it will try to fit the pattern if it's possible. Break the pattern. I'll say do not break the pattern. Try a lot of options is over here to get that fixed. And this can work. We might have to stretch this rail a little bit because it will not cut that rail because this is of 600 fix basically. We might have to drag that line a little bit ahead so that it gets fitted properly. So that now it doesn't create any problem. Okay, so that's a little bit negative about Revit is like it won't cut that last because it was not fitting into 600 basically there. Because you might have to edit the rail path. So you click on edit rail path and you need to on the preview mode to see how it will end up basically there. Okay, so in order to get that fitted properly, you need to make that path lines exactly to that cumulative size basically there. But yeah, your railings, the glass panel railings is almost ready. Then you can select the top rail. Okay, so you can come over your edit type. In the top rails, you can use the extensions. Okay, so extension at the beginning, get it up to the walls, we'll extend it up to 250s. Same over here, to the walls, extend it up to 250s. So that it goes extending. Let's try on this. Okay, now when I selected on and applied it on this this object, it doesn't come as that glass rail. It came back to that square balusters. That's because when you look into the edit type and when you come into baluster placement edits, on the stairs I'm telling that use the square balusters, not the glass panel balusters. So now if I pick the glass panel balusters, just want only one baluster on the threads basically there. I could try to, but this is what the error comes basically there. So you can see it comes straighter. It doesn't go slanted basically there. Okay, bend it. That's because when we created the family, we created straighter ones basically. So if you're creating for the stairs, you might have to create in the cross directions basically. Okay, so you don't need to create straighter ones. Okay, so the only trick is that you just might have to create it in the crossing directions basically. Everything would be similar only. Only thing that will be a little bit in angle basically that because it needs to be hosted on that threads or the risers basically. Okay, otherwise it might not hosted basically there. Okay, you just have to do that trick to do it or apply it. Or else what you can do is like you get a lot of families of the balusters as well. Okay, from the internet you can download one from there also basically then. Okay, so there are various websites from where you can download these families basically, the baluster panel families basically. So I'll give you a couple of names over here. One, you can go into bimobjects.com. Okay, so from bimobject.com you can download a number of families files. You can even download the other furniture elements as well. Okay. Yes, so if you download from the BIM object.coms already of these downloaded families, basically there will be no parameters inside it. Okay, like if maybe if you want to change the support diameter or thickness, or if you want to change the glass panel thickness, basically there you might be not able to do that basically. Okay, so for quick visualized purpose is fine, but if you wanted to show it or like parametrically or change it parametrically, then it is not possible to do it basically. Okay, yeah, yeah. The other one, that is modular.com. So from here also you can download a lot of contents. Okay. Blocks maybe like architect, electric panel. Got one. That's the different shape. Iron panel baluster is there. So it's some kind of iron shape is there. Then you have the other one. You can go into revitcity.com. Over here also you can search for file. You'll find ample of families. It's already there. Shapes are also there available. Okay, you can download from here and use it easily. Okay. I'll also transfer you some of the my family files as well, which I have created for the panels. Okay, so you can look into it and watch and apply that same panels as well. Okay, so let me just find for you. Give me 1 minute. Should be it's in folder. Something. Right now, I just have these many families available, which I have created. So you can actually see these are only the shape ones. This was created in the panel baluster only. Okay, but I've just used normal shapes to create. So instead of glass, I've just created some shapes over here. Okay, so you can even create like iron rods, well like that. Okay. These were the classic baluster that we did yesterday. These are just the guardrails, different types, the handrails. Okay. This is also the handrails, but just the attached to the wall actually. Okay. That's the actual one. So you can see shapes and the names. Okay. Family types has been created. So that's how we can create our own family of panel balusters basically. Okay. So at least you can try many shapes, many object styles in creating the railing families actually. Okay. So if you go on the internet, you'll find many types basically there. So like panel, baluster, many designs, plenty of it. You can even create these shapes and designs also in the panel baluster families. Many people, what they do is like they normally create this family, okay, and instead of glass they just use a texture image over there basically. So a texture image of something like this, okay, or design like that, okay, something like this. These are texture image, so you can stick it directly. So in rendering it instead of glass, you will be able to see these pattern designs basically. Okay, so many people use that trick basically then. So you can also try that. Yes. try many of these family types, basically, whichever you want to create it. It's the same type that I've created. One here. Okay. Only thing that it will be applied it on the staircase, basically. So I've created this as a separate file, so I can, copy this object and bring it into my file, basically. If it's open, suppose over here, take the command pick new host, and I can apply to this. I can draw another railing. Use the match property command, ma, match this property, this rail. Okay, do that as well. It's in Doglish, but it's an assembled staircase. Side supports and everything have been removed. Okay, so these are the examples of the staircase actually. Okay. So you can try along these types, okay, and see what happens when you create the types and the shapes. Okay. And you can submit the files. Let me check whether you're doing correctly or not. Okay. Isha, Sanket.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So please do make the two different baluster types. One is any one shape type. The last time we did the classic shape, so you can try the classic shape. And today we did the panel baluster, so try the panel baluster as well. Apply to the railings, center file. Let's check whether you're getting correct or not. Okay, so you can even mail me on the mail ID catcenter.onlineacademy@gmail.com.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, cool. Okay, so see you guys on Monday. Okay, carry forward with the other type of railing. I want to show like a full railing type. Means let's show you an example. Maybe if you have seen these kind of railing or not. Something these types, like it goes from the flooring to the ceiling. Okay, so if you want to create these kind of rails, okay, full height rails basically. There was a better example yesterday. I was just watching it. Yeah, there we go. Something like that. Something like this, like starting from the threads to the full height to the ceiling, basically. There. Okay, so we'll try to create these kind of railings, full height railings. Okay. You can even try the glass instead of the shapes as well. Similar kind something. Okay, so that's what we're going to try on Monday. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Most welcome, sir.